Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
Ever get that feeling when you are scrolling online, like, wait a second,
Yeah.
haven't I seen this all before?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same memes,
Yeah.
same arguments, even like the outrage feels like a rerun.
Yep.
It's like digital deja vu.
Yeah, it's a phenomenon that folks have been calling the memetic wave.
Okay.
This weird tendency for all of our online experiences to just become so similar,
Yeah.
even with how vast and how much variety there's supposed to be online.
Yeah. And today on the show, we are diving deep into this memetic wave.
Absolutely.
Like, what causes it? Why does it even matter?
Yeah.
And most importantly, how can we escape it?
Yeah.
To like experience a more vibrant,
Yeah,
just
God.
interesting digital life,
I think that's a great goal.
right?
I mean, the internet, when it first started,
Okay.
it promised all this variety,
Right.
all this difference.
Yeah.
But it seems like we keep ending up on these same paths.
Yeah.
It's like we're all given the same blueprint
No.
to build our online houses, but we end up with something way more homogenous.
So because everyone's trying to build the same unique house.
Totally.
Okay.
Like those early internet values, right?
Right.
Individualism,
Right.
freedom of expression.
Mm-hmm.
Those are up for interpretation.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what one culture finds entertaining or
Yeah.
share-worthy, another one might not.
So even with this like emphasis on individuality, we end up with like this McMansion effect online,
Totally.
where everyone's striving for the same type of unique,
Yeah.
with, like,
Just different paint colors.
yeah, slightly different paint colors, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But it's not just about those starting values.
Right.
It.
No.
There's something else at play here.
There is something else going on here.
Right.
It's algorithms, man.
Okay.
They're analyzing our every move.
Okay.
They are looking at all of our digital breadcrumbs,
Okay.
every like, click, and share
Oh, wow.
to build this personalized map
Okay.
of what they think we want to see.
Okay. So if they see me reading a lot about sustainable living,
Right.
they'll show me more articles on that topic,
Totally.
basically playing matchmaker with my interests.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And while that can be helpful, right, to feed our existing interests,
Sure.
it can lead to what we call informational monoculture.
Informational monoculture. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like only eating your favorite food every day.
Okay.
Like eventually your body's going to crave
Right.
a more diverse diet.
You need some vegetables.
You need your vegetables.
Yeah.
You can't have pizza every day.
Right. So our minds need variety, too.
Totally.
You need that mental stimulation
For sure.
of encountering different perspectives,
Yeah.
new ideas
Absolutely.
that challenge our assumptions.
Totally. Those moments of friction
Yeah.
where our existing beliefs are challenged,
Mm-hmm.
those are often where the most valuable learning and growth happen.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
those aha moments
Oh, wow.
usually come from just consuming the same type of content over and over and over again.
Right. So how do we break free from this cycle of sameness, especially when it feels so comfortable to stay in our own little information bubbles?
Yeah, I mean, it's cozy in there, right?
Yeah.
It's warm, it's familiar,
It's easy.
but is it good for us?
Right, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like we've built this really comfortable echo chamber online, and it's tough to break out of even when we know it's probably not good for us.
Yeah, it's easy to get so used to seeing the world through just like one lens
Right.
that we forget that there are other ways to see
Yeah,
things.
totally.
It's like we start to mistake familiarity with knowledge.
Okay.
Just because we've heard an idea repeated 100 times
Yeah.
doesn't mean we fully understand it or like
Yeah.
the nuances of it or
Right.
like the counter arguments to it.
So how do we even like begin to diversify our information diet?
Yep.
Should we be like following people we disagree with on purpose?
That's a great question.
Right.
I don't think it's necessarily about seeking out conflict,
Okay.
but it's more about just being open to different perspectives,
Okay.
even if they challenge our existing beliefs.
Yeah.
I always think about it like, like a digital neighborhood audit,
Okay.
taking a look at who you follow online,
Mm-hmm.
what news sources you're frequenting,
Okay.
even like, what types of memes
Yeah.
you tend to engage with.
Okay. Digital neighborhood audit.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing myself going through my social media feeds,
Totally.
my news app subscriptions, like all of it.
Yeah, totally. And then just kind of asking yourself,
Okay.
like, does this digital landscape actually reflect the real world in all of its complexity and diversity?
Right.
Or have I inadvertently created like an echo chamber
Yeah.
of my own.
Which is scarily easy to do, right?
It is.
Because the algorithm shows you what it thinks you want, and you click on those things, and then it's just like this feedback loop.
It's a feedback loop.
Right. It's like we're trapped.
It can feel that way.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we actually have more agency than we realize in this.
Okay.
Right? Because every click,
Mm-hmm.
every share,
Yeah.
it's a choice.
Okay.
We can reshape those algorithms by consciously diversifying the content we consume.
So instead of just like reading the article that my my usual news app recommends,
Totally.
maybe I try seeking out a different perspective on the same issue from another source.
Precisely.
Okay.
Or let's say, you're fascinated by sustainable living.
Right. Right.
Instead of just sticking to like the same blogs
Yes.
and the same influencers,
Right.
why not explore how different communities
Okay.
are approaching the same issues?
Interesting. Yeah.
You might discover entirely new solutions
Okay.
or perspectives that you hadn't even considered before.
It's like breaking out of my comfort zone, but in a good way.
Totally.
Like, expanding my horizons, trying new things. But in this case, it's like about the information I'm taking in. Instead of just like ordering my usual online, I'm trying something new.
Totally. And just like trying a new cuisine
Okay.
can open your taste buds to a whole new world of flavors. Exposing yourself to these different viewpoints can broaden your understanding of all these complex issues.
Okay.
You start to see the nuances,
Right.
the gray areas,
Mm-hmm.
the multiple sides to every story.
So it's making those conscious choices, being more intentional about where I'm getting my information from and actively seeking out those aha moments.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that the internet, for all its flaws,
Right.
can still be such a powerful tool for learning and growth.
Okay.
If we use it mindfully,
Right.
it's about remembering that our online actions
Yeah.
have real-world consequences.
So it's not just about like what we consume,
Right.
but also what we contribute
Totally.
to this digital space.
100%.
Every time I like share an article or like a comment, I'm adding to that echo chamber or hopefully helping to diversify the conversation a little bit.
Exactly.
Right.
It's
Well-
about recognizing that we're not just these passive consumers
Right.
of information online.
Yeah.
We're active participants
Yeah.
shaping this digital landscape.
Right.
Every click, every share.
Yeah.
It's like adding another brick
Wow.
to the world that we're collectively building.
Okay.
And it's like, are we building bridges?
Right.
Or are we reinforcing walls?
Right. Yeah.
Are we amplifying meaningful conversation?
Okay.
Or are we just adding to the noise?
Wow. It suddenly feels like a much bigger responsibility.
It is a big responsibility.
Yeah.
But it's also incredibly empowering
Okay.
because we actually have the power
Mm-hmm.
to shape not just our own digital experiences,
Mhm.
but the experiences of others.
Right. It's like we're all digital architects in a way.
Exactly.
Designing the information landscape for ourselves and for others.
100%. And just like a good architect
Right.
considers the needs of the people who will inhabit the buildings,
Right.
we can be more mindful of the digital spaces
Yeah.
that we're creating with our choices online.
So as we kind of wrap up this part of the conversation, what are some of your like parting words of wisdom
Okay.
for like navigating this digital world more mindfully?
Okay.
How do we start building those bridges and creating that more vibrant digital experience for everyone?
I love that.
Right.
That's what we want. We
Yeah.
want to build those bridges.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the memetic wave,
Yeah.
any final words of wisdom?
I think it really is all about taking those small but intentional actions like we were talking about.
Okay.
Audit your digital neighborhood.
Yeah.
Be mindful of what you're consuming, what you're sharing,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And remember, you have a voice in this, right? You have a choice. You have influence.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate that.
Yeah, no pressure. Right.
Right.
But seriously, it is actually really empowering
Yeah.
to know that we have like more agency than we think.
Totally.
Like we don't have to get swept away by this memetic wave.
We can learn to surf.
We can surf it.
Yeah.
Okay, ride those waves.
Influence them. You can even influence where those waves go.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. So instead of feeling overwhelmed by this wave of sameness,
Yeah.
we can actually become part of the solution. We can use our choices online to create a more diverse, interesting, and ultimately more enriching digital experience for everyone.
Exactly. And remember, it starts with awareness, right?
Okay.
Once you see the patterns,
Yeah.
once you understand how these forces are shaping your online experience,
Right.
you can start to make more conscious choices.
It's like we've been handed the controls to our own little corner of the internet. We can steer towards those more meaningful conversations.
Totally.
There's diverse perspectives, those aha moments that make the online world so fascinating.
That's a great way to put it. It's about reclaiming that sense of agency.
Yeah.
And using it to build the digital world we want to see.
That's a fantastic note to end on.
It's all about action, right?
Yeah. To our listeners out there, remember, you have the power to escape the memetic wave.
You do.
And shape your online experience.
Yes, be mindful.
Be mindful, be curious.
Be curious.
And be the change you want to see in your digital world.
Hear, hear. That's all the time we have for today's deep dive into the memetic wave.
This was fun.
Thanks for joining us as we explore how to break free from that digital deja vu.
Absolutely.
Until next time, happy and mindful scrolling.
Mindful scrolling, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.